A little bit late. This is the Payson City Council meeting on December 13th, 2023. I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Council Proscard has volunteered to open this meeting with prayer.
Father in heaven, we bow our heads this evening, grateful for the beautiful weather that we're having, grateful for the time of year, the advent of what we celebrate, both in the Christian and the Judaic world. While at this time, as we prepare as council members and council staff city staff to conduct city business, we ask that we may make good decisions, fair and just. We're grateful for our staff, for all that they do for us. Grateful for the council and the mayor for the time that they spend. Will thou always be with them. We invite thy spirit here now and do so in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Repeat after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go on to B, the consent agenda, approval of December 6th, 2023 council minutes. Unless there's any questions about those minutes, I'm ready for a motion from the council.
I move that we approve the consent agenda for December 6th, 2023.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion has been seconded. Roll call vote starting with Council Hyatt,
Yes.
Council Proscard,
Yes.
Council Carter,
Yes.
Council Beecher,
Yes.
Council Christensen.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to C, petitions. We will open a public forum. Anyone can speak. If they do not have time, try to limit it to around 3 minutes if you can. So we'll go to that point. Not seeing anyone here in the council chambers. Is there anybody online? Okay, since there's no one, I'll go ahead and close that public forum. I'll move on to staff reports. Squeeze.
Mayor and Council, I want to take a minute of your time to outline a project that was built this summer. It was designed in-house and constructed in-house. It was basically a safety sidewalk project. With the construction and the population of Eversage and that development along Fifth West, there was a lot of pedestrian impact. So it was designed in-house and constructed in-house. We did a water line upgrade and rolled a mill, paved, did the curb gutter and sidewalk. The one thing I want to point out that's unique to this is the soft front between the curb and the sidewalk is also the storm line. So that being said, there's potential to do that around town in various places and mitigate some of our storm drain issues. So we'll be bringing things back in the future. So the residents heavily use it. It's amazing. So we'd like to see more.
Where is it? North and south?
It's from 400 north to 600 north along the railroad track right away.
From the turn right there, when you come underneath the freeway,
There we go, north.
and then go straight north to Eversage.
On these side of those two trade courts.
Right. The value in doing this with the soft run is some of our dilapidated planter strips and that we could do this and rejuvenate them and clean them up with more of the xeriscape. As Dave calls it, flipper strip. So there's some merit and value, and I just wanted to present that to you.
How deep is that storm drain, Jim?
It
runs.
runs the length of it. We've got beaver slides in the curve. It averages about 5 feet, 4.5 feet. Then there's fabric, and then dry dock. Any questions?
Thank you, council.
Oh, nice.
I think it's tremendous. Now,
That's it.
probably save us. money.
That's the kind of stuff we've talked about needing done, budgeting for, so we get things like this. Thank you.
Well, that goes along with our curb and gutters,
Yes,
that we so,
So neat.
so we can't peg somebody else to pay for it, we need to have it in-house and do it.
so let's make sure going forward that we budget enough money to allow to continue to do projects like that. We fought so hard to get to this point, right?
Yeah.
Laid the groundwork.
Laid the groundwork for.
Okay, any other staff? Okay, if not, we'll move on to council reports, starting with Council Christensen.
I don't have anything to report at this point in time, so. Thank you.
Council Reacher.
It's only been a week. I can't think of anything I need to say further.
Just for your, the public's, some of the publics here, we're having this out of sync, was a very light, council agenda, and we had to take care of some, canvassing. Today was the last day for the canvassing of the general election, so we decided to do this and cancel it. Money? Okay, so thank you. Linda?
I don't have anything other than I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get a chance to hear some of the staff talk that regularly got up and reported. And you know who I'm talking to. He's in the green shirt.
One of the councilmen put the kibosh to that.
They did? Who, you?
I plead the fifth. I can do
Anyway,
that here, right?
Yeah.
so I won't get to hear your voices,
You're right.
the funny things that you say. And I want to thank all of you so much.
I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna take an opportunity because it is the last council, for three of our council, members, Kurt Beecher and Linda Carter and Rob Postcard. I wanna take this opportunity to thank you profusely. It's been an honor and a pleasure to work with you. Anytime, any place, I'll be glad to work with you again. And that also, at the same time, I'd like to extend that to Council Hyatt and Council Christensen, who will continue to work together, and I appreciate the connections I have with you. So thank you so very much.
Kind of a bittersweet meeting, isn't it? Well, after 34 years of sitting up here in various capacities, I say goodbye. I've sat here for 34 years, and the only thing that's changed are the chairs.
That's it.
Just there. And this,
And that back wall.
the back wall.
The back wall.
But that's all that's changed, you guys. I want to say how grateful I am for staff that always has had our backs. I'd like to name two or three personally that have been with me on this journey for 34 years. A lot of you don't think it's gonna blow your mind that she's that old, but Jill Spencer has been with me for 34 years. Dave Tuckett has been here in a couple different capacities for that length of time. Anybody think who else has been here that long? Mr. Fowler. Don't know how much I appreciate you guys. You have always had my back, whether it be on planning and zoning, Board of Adjustments. I will tell you, I believe that Board of Adjustments is the hardest responsibility that I have had to serve in Payson City. As you're dealing with neighbor, and it was tough. But I'm just grateful to have been able to have the opportunity to serve with such a wonderful council this time around. We've done good. I'm excited for the new council that's coming on. I've got to visit with each one of them a little bit. And I'm excited for the things that we have planned that are coming and for the things that have the potential to come. There he is. Scott's the other one. Believe it or not, Scott's been here that long. He's that old.
Must have started.
Yep. So thank you guys for always having my back, having the council back. I thank the council. You guys, even though we've not ever always agreed, we have never taken it personal and we've come back to work and got things done. So, Mayor, thank you. You've set the tone, you set the agenda, and you've kept the council united. And I look forward to hearing great things in the future. So thank you guys.
I'm
I
kind
have
of
one
sorry.
more thing.
Oh, okay.
This is business, Linda.
Well, then let me just say,
Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm sorry I didn't have a big speech like Bob did. Please forgive me. Okay.
And I don't make these speeches, so it's okay.
So one thing that's been on my cron, and the mayor knows it, and everybody knows it, but I think it's come to a head. I went, and the mayor graciously jumped in my car with me late last night, and we went for a ride. And I showed him the concerns of a community, of some rumblings. And I've known about them for a long time, and I've chosen to just think that they'll go away, but they won't. We went down by the big subdivision down by our brand new rebuilt roundabout. And then we went down by Everstage. It's amazing what's parked there after 6 o'clock at night. Last night, there was a truck and a pup.
Bigger than a pup.
Yeah, bigger than a pup.
Double trailer.
Yep, double trailer. Guys, council that's coming on, mayor, we need to address the on-street parking with these new developments. We went by those two. I wanted to take him out to Arrowhead, but I promised I'd only keep him a half hour, and we get to that. But the big developments on the four corners of city all have the same problem. I think as we sit here as council and we fine tooth these developers, and they sit there and promise us that there's gonna be no on-street parking, we swallow it hook, line, and sinker. And we've gotta put some teeth into it. I don't know whether we can go back. The developers walk away, right? They're done, they walk away, they get their paycheck, an HOA takes over or whatever, and poor Officer Bishop and the officer, or Chief Bishop and the officers are tethered with trying to, I don't know, ring in the chaos. What scares me to death, and now that we've annexed this piece down here by Eversage on the other side, we now need to patrol that side. There's been a white car parked there now for over a month since we started debating that annexation down there. One of the neighbors told me that the little kids run across the street because she has responsibilities with them in the church. And it scares me to death. There's 2 trailers parked down there.
Yeah, there are, one thing covered.
One's covered and winterized and just sitting there for the winter. And I do not want one of our little children or a resident. We have, the other morning when I went down there, I go that way every morning on my way to work. In the summertime, there's joggers, there's walkers, there's bikes, and those cars are lining that street. And now that we've annexed the other side of the street, I know we have the authority somehow to enforce and enact the ordinances that we have. I would go as short as saying, Mayor, take it under advisement, but post big signs that say absolutely no parking.
As we've talked, I have talked with Dave Tuckett, the city manager, our street superintendent, police department, planning, and our attorney. We will find a solution to that. I have just promised you that earlier, and I promise you again in public, we will solve that.
And I'm gonna hold you to it.
I know you will. So we will solve it. Thanks for
So-
bringing it up.
You bet, man. There's 2 that we don't go in and plow the snow in, but everything down in Arrowhead, we have the responsibility for our street department to go in there and plow the snow and dump garbage. And you know how many little families are down there?
A lot.
It's time, leniency's gotta go. Somebody's gonna get hurt, and I don't want it on my hands. Nobody wants it on their head. Better to make people upset than it is to have somebody grieve. So, thank you.
Payson, Payson tonight before you leave. I'm gonna miss you guys. But I know where you live. Not see each other again. I enjoyed working with you guys. Get to know you. You guys are gonna be. And you get to go to Australia, like, they go with your suitcase?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure working with you guys.
Since Bob brought it up, I should have brought it up myself as well, but I want to echo what he said about the new council. Looking extremely happy and excited to work together. All three of you are here. We're excited to work with you and continue to provide the city with the future that it needs and deserves. Thank you for being here. Okay.
Just one thing, this is not your last council meeting,
Oh,
because we have one on June 3rd,
January.
January 3rd. That's where we're swearing the new ones, and we'll have a little reception for the outgoing, so we'd love you to come on that date, and we'll make the transition there. So we'll have a little reception, and then we'll have the new council come up, and we'll do the business of the city.
Put them to work.
Yeah, we'll put them to work and do the business. So come to the next one, and then we also have that Christmas dinner for you guys next Monday, and we'll have the department heads here, so we'll be able to talk and have some goodbyes and things like that. So we do appreciate all that you do and all that you've done and the outgoing, and we look forward to the incoming. And Payson City is a great place to work and live, and we want to keep it that way. So thanks for all your concern and your help and your direction.
Appreciate it. Okay, getting back to the agenda, D, items, resolution, canvass of the November 21st, 2023 Payson Municipal General Election. And mainly the reason for the meeting tonight.
Oh, Ryan, you lost.
That's a bad joke, but it's a joke.
Mayor and council, I apologize, it's been a little crazy and that's why we were late today. The county called me, we had to do our recount. Today is the last day that we can conduct the canvass with the recount according to state law. The county called me about 2 o'clock today and told me they'd have me reports in about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I waited and tried calling without getting any answers. At 5 minutes to 5, I finally got through and talked to someone. And the information I have given you right now, it basically shows the first, and these are front and back. The first 3 pages is filling the first seat, and you can look at, like, Ryan Rowley is the candidate who took the first seat, and you can see how through the rounds when the lowest candidate was eliminated, how many votes he then gained as they eliminated candidates. So Ryan Rowley has taken the first seat in the election, and then the one that has Brian Hewlett at the top, you can see the same information and how candidates were eliminated and how they gained votes. Brian Hewlett then took the second seat. And you, right under their name towards the bottom, you can see the percentage because they have to break that 50% mark to take a seat. And then the last one there is Ann Moss. Ann Moss took the third seat. And you can see how her tallies went through. I apologize again, the county could not get me any of the ballot statistics, like from each of the precincts. The information is online and I can print out some reports and do those things that we can attach to the resolution tonight. So basically the resolution, we have 2 items that we have to deal with. One is called the election results report, which will contain this information I just gave you. And then it'll have the statistics on how many provisional ballots there were and that type of information, the total number of voters in the city and how many ballots came through. That will get attached to the election results report, which each of you need to sign. So once we get that information, I can get it to you before you sign this document. And then that election results will get attached to the resolution that we have put together, which basically just refers to the election results report. At the end of the resolution, there are some requirements that I have to take care of. Once the canvass is finished, I have to certify the election report. I have to get information to the lieutenant governor's office and some other things, and I'll take care of those once we have a final report. Does anybody have any questions?
Just thank you for all your hard work. I know it's been a stressful time, especially today, waiting for those calls, but never came.
So the resolution does state that Ryan Rowley, Brian Hewlett, and Ann Moss are to be elected.
Thank you.
Well, Mayor, you ready for
Yes, is there any other council discussion? Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
Then I'll make a motion being convinced by the county that the ballots that are missing will not affect the outcome of the election. I move that we canvass and approve the election as it is currently, knowing that it will change, pending that change, but it will not change the outcome of the three top candidates. That is my motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. Roll call votes, starting with Council Hyatt,
Yes.
Council Prostar,
Yes.
Council Carter,
Yes.
Council Beecher,
Yes.
Council Christensen.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you again for all your hard work. Going on to number 2, resolution, appointment to the 4-Bay Committee. Jill, were you gonna come up and say anything, or should I just, is she here?
Jill's not here.
She's not here. Well, her name was on here, so I'll just go ahead. I was on the panel that interviewed the 4-Bay Committee hopefuls. We interviewed 9, there were 10 original ones, and one decided to take the name off, and so we had some really good candidates. We decided to re-up 2 of the current council, the 4-Bay council members, Devin Weaver and Kerry Pierce will be retained, and then Kevin Cook, he'll be a new member, and Allison Booth will be the 4th member. I would submit these names to the council for your application of those honors. So any discussions on those individuals? If not,
I mean,
good. They're very good candidates, and interviewed every one of them. They're very comfortable with them. It's a great 4-Bay council that we have that running fuel for Payson City and our future. So very good asset. I'm ready for motion.
I move that we approve the appointments to the 4-Bay Committee as outlined by the mayor.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, starting with Council Christensen.
Yes.
Council Beecher.
Yes.
Council Carter.
Yes.
Council Prostar.
yes.
Council Hyatt.
Yes.
Thank you. Number 3, resolution, Payson Fruit Growers Agreement. Dave?
Mayor and council, we've talked this a little bit in the past, but we did support Payson Fruit Growers in applying for a grant for the wastewater treatment plant. The state of Utah cannot award grant funding through their processes to private organizations, but they did increase our grant money, $2 million, that needed to be on behalf of fruit growers. And so we looked at that. Our contract engineer looked at to keep them in compliance with the DOD that they bring to the sewer plant. The 2 million would cover that. It was like $7 million they would have to put into the upgrade of this plant. And so we want to solve the problem permanently. And so we talked to the Payson fruit growers about them putting in their own pre-treatment program before the water is ever put into our sewer. And so they've got an engineer and I think it's LEI, but I can't remember the engineer, but they're working on their own pre-treatment program to treat the wastewater before it comes into our sewer plant. And it's probably a $4.5 to $5 million process that they're doing. But this benefits us. We take the $2 million in grant money to help our upgrade, but we were gonna contribute to doing their pre-treatment to the amount of $2 million, the same as because the state letter, I don't know if you read it in your packet, said that the $2 million needs to benefit Payson fruit growers. And so we have to use the grant funding on our sewer plant upgrade, which helps. It helps the process. But with them putting a pre-treatment in, it would greatly benefit our sewer plant as well. So we put this agreement together. The state didn't really need to know all the details, but we sent that to the state. They were comfortable with it. We've talked to Payson fruit growers. They're good with it. We're going to meet with them next week to make sure, how we get that money to them and process whether it's quarterly or something like that. So some of the payment details have not been worked out, but this agreement we feel like is fair because they were able to get our plant $2 million more for the upgrade, and we're trying to help them with pre-treatments just so that we don't have any violations in the future. And you can't guarantee that. I mean, if something happens, something goes down, there might be a violation, but I think with our new process of the sewer plant and their pre-treatment program in their own facility, I think we're going to go with hopefully none to very little violations in the future. So that's what it's there for. We want that for your approval. If you're comfortable with that, we're working with the state to try to get all the approvals to go full bore on this. We're doing some of the work down there now, you've seen, but we've just got to get trucking. So I don't know if you have any questions for me or if you have anything you want to discuss about this.
So as I read that, Dave, I guess my first comment would have been, is the fruit grower committed if we kick that $2 million to them instead of using it to upgrade our sewer plant, which will benefit them? Are they committed to coming up with the additional amount to finalize the pre-treatment?
Yeah, they're ready to move forward and get that built. But like I say, I haven't seen the numbers and I can get those and forward them to you, but the estimate several months ago is it's probably $4.5 to $5 million that they're going to have to spend. And this would be $2 million of that. So they would have to put $2.5 million to $3 million of their own money into that pre-treatment.
And they're willing to do so.
Yeah. I mean, that was the option, or else come up with.
Could that be part of the agreement? I mean, I just don't want to earmark $2 million and have it sit there forever because they couldn't come up with the rest of it.
Yeah, I can add that in. I could put the $2 million because of the grant funding will come from the city, and the remaining I'll get the final number from them, and I can insert that into the agreement so that they're committed to putting the paying for the rest of the plan. If that works.
Do it as like a reimbursement kind of thing.
No, we need
That's
to,
in addition to.
the letter says that it has to benefit Payson fruit growers.
Well, it would, they just pay for it and we reimburse it.
Yeah, but my mind immediately went to, well, we can use it down at our sewer plant because that will benefit them. But this benefits them wholly because now they're putting cleaner water into our system.
It benefits us.
So I would rather do it that way.
And we've looked at different options. We looked at you just turn down the $2 million and say, it doesn't bring enough to total handle it on our own upgrade. As we looked at different options, or say, fruit growers, you have to come up with $7 million, which I don't think they can do. But it would help us to have cleaner water coming out into our plant. And we need to solve the problem. If we turn the grant back in, it's still a problem of violations and there may be continued violations even after the upgrade. So we're just trying to make it so that we don't have problems in the future for both companies, for the city and for them.
That clarification would help.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Okay. I'll try to get that on Monday, but if you want to make that part of the motion, that needs to be inserted of the amount of financial obligation that Payson Fruit Growers has.
I agree.
I think so.
So then after we take our 95% on
Okay, I'm ready for a motion unless there's other discussions. Okay. Ready for a motion.
I move we approve the, resolution with the addition of the, funding required by Payson Fruit Growers. Authorize me to sign.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded, for roll call, starting with Council Hyatt,
Yes.
Council, Scott.
Yes.
Council Carter,
Yes.
Major,
Yes.
Council Christian. Yes. Thank you, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, there's only one other thing on the agenda, that's a motion to adjourn.
Linda, you make it.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, I'll second. Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Thank you, we're adjourned.